Okay, I'm gonna show where my process is right now, and I'm gonna show myself putting in my lights. But first, I said that I would show these three tools for checking electricity. I've got my electricity going, you see. Got my light on in here. Okay, so first let me show my ceiling in here. See the top of that all the way down? Okay. And then you can see that I've got plywood all the way around everything. Okay. So I'm gonna paint all of that and patch it up how I want it to look. But first, I'm putting up my lighting with the pipe like I described. So I'm gonna show that process. I like that because you see this paint up here is glow in the dark paint. I've got blue and I've got the white kind of glow in the dark paint mixed together, and it looks like a skyline. And I was like, oh, kind of reminds me of the name Skylar. So, and I just had that feeling. I want the glow in the dark paint in there because I'm putting up this lighting up there. Because when you have a light close to glow in the dark paint, it gets really bright. Under my I will eventually put a recording of how I made my bunk bed. But under the bottom bunk, I created stars in like pinks and blues and all that for a night sky. And I used a toothbrush and did different types of stars for my own constellation. And I have a lighting underneath the bunk bed, which hangs in the middle, and it lights that ceiling up. So this is similar kind of to that, except for this is like a more of a daylight sky look. So anyway, I'm going to show this. These are 3 ways you know that you've wired electricity correctly. When you have these 2 lights on there, let me show it. I love the tools. They're like, okay, I did it good. You see the 2 lights on there? That says correct. You did it correctly. Okay, and that's the end of the line, so we know that the rest of them are correct also. And the other one that you got is this thing, which will beep at you to tell you the power's on. You use this thing whenever you're about to start doing electrical work, because it'll be like, wait a minute, stop, it's hot. Okay, so that's that tool. And the other one is the multimeter, and you switch this one. Okay, and I didn't know this at first when I got it, but this comes with caps on the top of it. So if you just think it's going to work without taking those off, you need it to go in there further than that. And I didn't know that at first, because the instructions that came with it were very, very small. So, and then you turn it to, let's see if I can remember. Let's just see what it does here. Okay, yeah. It's the first one with a V and a little wave on the top of it. And it tells you that our voltage. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, our voltage is at 122, which is normal. Okay? You can see that from there. Now, I don't know, like, if it matters which one the red one goes in and which one the black one goes in. I just do it how it's lined up with this multimeter. The red one is on the right, the black one is on the left. I don't know. It's working though. So those are our 3 tools on how to test electricity. And that's what it's on, that first one. The V with a wave. I don't know everything about a multimeter, but I'm sure I will keep learning more things about electricity as I continue on. But that's how 3 ways of checking. Okay, we have red on this side. Now, I don't know how long this is going to take because a lot of times I have to fiddle around with things before I know. So, I'm showing it anyways. Now, I did not choose the name Skylar. My inner spirit chose the name Skylar whenever I asked for him to pick a name, so that's why I brought it up. Okay. And we'll see. Okay, here's the lights that we're gonna use. We're stringing these across the top of the ceiling. Okay? And I've been like contemplating, should I have all this sanded and painted down first, or should I do the light? I'm feeling the urge to do the light first, so that's what we're gonna do. What we're using here is conduit pipe. JM Eagle is the brand on these. It's just plastic pipe. Okay. There will be no electrical wires inside of those. Okay. And then the next thing to point out is, okay, we have some joints here to make the pipe the length I want it to be. And then I have an end cap. I do not know where the stud is in the ceiling, so I have extra golden screws, and I got what are these things called? Drywall anchors, I think is what they're called. They keep your things in place whenever you don't have a stud back there, but we don't know if there's a stud where the pipe is going to be yet because I haven't checked it. Okay, and then the next thing to point out was that the last pipe that I did this with, I used those spring clips, and they didn't have a big enough opening to go over the pipe, so I had to slide them through the ring itself, and I didn't like that because once they're on there, you can't get them off. Whoops. Okay. Still going. Okay, so I saw some circles that didn't have an opening next to those in the section, and I thought, oh, those look like the binder circles. So I went over to the school supply section and I found these book rings, and that idea works. Okay, I'll show you. We're gonna need 5 of them. And there's multiple sizes, so I had to get 2 boxes. But this is the size we're gonna use, and you see how it opens like that. Okay, so it will go over our pipe easier for me to maneuver the cord around there. And we need 5 of those because there's 5 lights. We're going to be ended up with 5 shells and 5 lights, and the header is 10 foot, a little bit longer than 10 foot. Okay, I think it ended up the width of this area is about close to 10 foot 10 inches, so a little bit less than 10 foot 10 inches, but very mathematical lining up for however that works. Okay, so we got 5 of these laid out. Now what we want to do first is get these shorter pieces to go through here up to the top. Okay, So I'm gonna cut off the tops of these two that have these tubes there. Let's see how much I need to. Alright. Let me cut off one first before I decide on the other one because I don't want it to be too short. So this is a pipe cutter that you use for plumbing, which keeps it nice and straight. I tend to prefer using this than I do the Sawzall. Alright, now let's see where that lines up at the top. Okay, so what we're going to have and make sure this, I already hammered that into there. There, get it out. Okay, we're not gluing any of these together. We're not doing that. Oh, if you can see that. Okay, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. Maybe I should put the camera back there, but it's going to be in my way once I start trying to get the pipe up on the ceiling, so maybe just for a little bit, but when I start working on the ceiling, I'm going to have to move it. Maybe I can set it, I don't know. We'll see. Okay. You can see that. Okay. Now, what we want to see is how far we need to be down for this thing. Go across there. That's dry now. Okay, we can cut off this other end because I prefer the joints on there. Let's see. How much are we going to cut off before I do it? That's all the way down. Let me get it. Let me get a measuring tape real quick. I think about 2.5 inches looks like will be good. won't use a joint on that. Maybe we'll just use it like it is. It's not really going to be able to be seen on there. So let's do 2.5 inches from the bottom. Let's see where we line up. Okay. Now let's see how that goes. I think this is a 90-degree pipe right there. Alright. So, with that right there, what I can do is take my this will tell us if we got a stud up there or if we have to use those other things. I hope there's a stud up there. That would be very nice for me. Where did I put those golden screws? Right here. Okay, so in the corner. Good Lord. It's like, will those even be long enough? I wonder. We have our drywall that we gotta go through here. And then we have a stud that we wanted to go through. Let me just see. We'll test it out and see. If it's not long enough, then we'll have to do something different. Can't tell that it went into anything. not need to use those other things. Alright. Now, what we gotta do, now I'm gonna have to move this computer, because I'm gonna have to get a bunch of clips up in that. And then we're gonna have to determine, okay, I think what I have to do is put the pipe up first, and then we have to take one side off on each thing so that we can get it wrapped around there. But first I need to make sure that I have it at the length I want it at. Right about there. We can add this. I think we have room to add this piece we cut off at the end. So that there. And that gives us a little bit of extra length. And I put this cat one end. On it. So what we want to do is get that up with one extra clip on that side and then run up to the other end and clip it on the back side so that it's set up in place before I start doing all that stuff. Get a paper towel and go across it also because I've got stuff around here. Okay. Fuck. So let me put some things in my pocket. I got screws in my pocket and I want some clamps in my pocket. Where'd I put those clamps? There they are. 1 inchers. They're bigger than they're supposed to be. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And then I don't know if I need to But any kind of clamp on the side here, probably not. Good. I don't even have my gonna stay or fall. My drill. Oh, don't fall. Alright. We need a better plan. If I put this clamps up there, if I can get them as straight as I can get them, I can just slide that through there. So, like, let me get a straight edge ruler and measure it from the side. I'll just take the clamps and like go all the way down and then pull the pipe up through there. Now, why is that name Skylar important to me? Because, like, that answer was telling me that I wasn't the only one who wanted what I wanted, which is planning for our family. So that's why. Okay. We're at 5 inches. What is that? Yeah, 5 inches. Try and like make it down a little bit. Drill. outlets here. Slip that pipe in there. So I should not, I don't really want to have to do all of them because I don't know how the lights are going to line up. But just enough to get it. Don't roll the clump. Now this is me thinking as we go along. And that's the thing about videos. I'm like, I don't know. I don't usually know what I'm going to do until I start doing it. I have some experience if I've done something before, and sometimes I don't have any experience. So, my videos are not like planned. I'm just showing what I normally do. That's it. And sometimes I'll just come up with a new idea, like as I'm working on something. Oh, you just don't ever know, man. I think that's spiritual whenever you feel like compelled to add a little detail here or there to make it more special to yourself. Okay, we got that. Now, I don't know how tight that's going to be. We're going to be finding out as we go along. How much weight we can put on it. So, I think right here would be good. I don't grab a clamp again. Can you see me? Can you see me? gonna attach it to the one behind it yet because I'm gonna have to move that a little bit to wire the first cord around there. Is that gonna work? So I can tell I probably need to have those anchors in there. But first we're gonna see if I like the length of her pipe. I think it's gonna work out, but let me check it out first. This is gonna be moved back till right about there. It's not all the way touching, but unless I want to take that smaller pipe out and extend it to the very, very end, I'm not sure that it matters. Okay. So first let's get these twist ties off of here. Now, why do I like construction string lights, you might wonder? Because it's like representative of my wanting these ideas to be constructive ideas that are future oriented as well as current oriented. Like, this is a construction that I'm doing now, but I want it to expand into more construction with what the basic idea is for growth. And so that's why I like the construction ideas. And I obviously am fond of the colors blue and yellow because I keep migrating to those two, that combination. And as I said before, yellow plus blue equals green. So it seems to be those colors seem to be attracted to me as much as I am attracted to them. Okay. First thing we're gonna do is wrap this cord around here. Now, how will I do that with that in there? I'm gonna have to loosen it so that I can take that out. Where's my drill? one side is, I think, into a stud, and the other side is not. And so we'll just have to do one-sided anchors. Alright. Now that's sticky on there. I need to get the goof off and clean that. Once these shelves go up, like, this thing's pretty much in there for good. Rubbing alcohol is getting sticky off of there. And so we have outlets in our pantry cabinet, which, you know, who knows? There might be something that needs to be charged up in there. Who knows? These are smaller. Whoops. Just a minute here. I even have the camera pointed over there. Okay. fast to watch it, and the videos have fast forward on there. It's like, up to you. Alright, I'm like, now how am I gonna do it now? So if I got it all the way around like that. What do I need to do from the other side? Take this down here. Okay, I'm gonna stop this video because I need to think about this. That's the idea, anyway.